Okay. PetSmart. I got a critique on PetSmart. Yeah. Okay. The ideals it professes are ideals. Okay. Um, they focus on the pets, which they should. That's the issue at hand. Fine. That's fine. So it definitely should be the starting point. But it is only a starting point. Okay, this is a business, the physics of it. No business is going to bar a customer, let's be real, unless it has to. And they do. All right. As frequently as they do, if they were committed to the ideal above everything else, no. Um, it begins with the pet, but it doesn't end with the pet, nor should it. Everything's interconnected. The people involved, the the customers, right? I mean, they want a service. Why should they be denied a service? Um, and yet they would put restrictions on these people that are also should be considered unreasonable. I mean, how do you uh, handle a situation so you can uphold your portion of this ideal? Most people can't, right? But they expect a business to make up for their own deficiencies. It's not going to happen. So it's not only the company, how much the company falls short of its own ideals, is how much the customer expects the company to make up for their own deficiencies. There are lots of deficiencies. Okay, so I would be more inclined to slam the customer than I would the company on on too many points, which is not good for business. So what the heck's the point of doing that, right? Um, a lot of finger pointing all over the place. It's a business. There are certain physical realities that come about when you have a business. Ideals are wonderful if everyone upholds some layer of commitment, accountability. Nobody does. The company does more on their part, than most other, you know, elements. So no, no, and I found that I am not a pet person. Okay, I mean, these people are control freaks. Let's not be too nice about it. Okay, these people are control freaks. Um, are there nice control freaks? There are. Um, there are also really warped control freaks too. So I mean, some of these control freaks are so nice, it's almost disgusting how nice they are. I could never be that nice one. But I could throw more criticism at the customers than at the company. And it still is. You're talking about one person overlooking 16 animals, right? Pets, right? Taking care of that. I'm talking about when things are busy. And it being a company, they would put even more in there if it could begin to be manageable. But of course, it's already pushing it. So, and for the ideals they profess, it's not really a physical possibility, but it is still somewhat manageable. Could you do it if you really like had control over it? If you can find the ideal employee, if you can find the ideal customer, if you can find the ideal pet, if you, right, and if everything lined up beautifully, it's possibly, but even that's optimistic. And what about loyalty to the people that end up taking the brunt of it all, end up actually providing the care for the animal? And let me tell you, although everyone has fallen short of the ideal, I have yet to see anyone that I would call abusive or even close to being abusive. They have a genuine concern for the animal. I have not seen any kind of mean-spiritedness, even when, when your patience is pushed, really crowded circumstances. Haven't at all. Not that it doesn't happen, but I haven't seen it personally. Do I agree with their approach? No, but I don't think you'll find any caretaker that has. This is a difficult job. So whatever you end up doing, you're going to end up feeling strongly about it. These are difficult circumstances, and your job is to supervise and do, what you can to. So it's going to be a difficult job. Any approach you end up following, you're going to be defensive about. Almost like a parent. Like a parent. I mean, this is what you're doing. You're babysitting. This is not an easy job. If you're going to adhere to an approach, you're going to be defensive about it if someone puts you in that position. I haven't seen anyone that cares for the animals the same way. Everyone has their own take on it. But I haven't seen any abusive behavior. And the company has a certain level of loyalty to their caretakers, which they should. Let's face it. Like, pet people, when they're decent, tend to be more loyal than most people. I'm going to go out and say that. Can the ideal ever be reached? I'm not even going to say, there's a lot at play here. I'm not even going to say that a capitalist system could never reach that ideal, but I will say no American system could ever reach. There's a lot involved here. A lot of it has to do with the customer. A lot of it has to do with the culture. It's not just business. It's not just, capitalism, throwing its capitalist nasty quirks all over the place and, exploiting everything. But there's a lot of cultural things that come into owning a pet, especially owning a pet in this culture. And most of the deficiencies are going to, this is not good for business. Most of the deficiencies come from the customers. This is not a situation that's going to be resolved with a freaking video. This is so multifaceted. This is not just capitalism. This is Americanism. This is pets, pet ownership, what pet people are. To a certain degree, they're more loyal than other people. Some you can even say are kinder than, but what about the ones that aren't? Are there really warped cases? Oh, absolutely, but that's with everything, right? So yeah, a pet person compared to a non-pet person, yeah, they're control freaks. So that comes with its own separate reality, and you can argue that point forever. That's never going to be resolved. Now, within that framework, how does PetSmart measure up? It's pretty good. And they're loyal to their people, which they should be. And like I said, when it comes to that, I think pet people are probably a lot more loyal than the. So that's a good thing. There's so many parts to this. No damn video is going to resolve anything. Okay. So there's a lots of little things that make up this whole situation. So I would be more inclined to condemn the culture, the overall culture, than this company because it does pretty well. So it's. Would I put my own pet? Guess what? I would not have a pet. I am not even in this, even though I can think of the philosophical reasons why it is morally better to have a pet if you are prepared to that, to deal with that level of commitment, and if you are in a position to be able to uh, engage in that kind of responsibility, and it is a massive responsibility, then fine. I'm not in that position. It doesn't look like I'm ever going to be in that position. I would take something like that very seriously. Too seriously? I'm sure some people would say yes, too seriously. But even then, I would condemn a culture and not. There's too many parts to this. This is. No frickin' little video is going to resolve anything. So, yeah. Okay, this thing is starting to give little. I think it's probably reaching a storage limit there. Okay, this can go on forever. So, it's a very complicated set of circumstances. So I'm gonna end it here. There's just too much involved. This is not going to be resolved by any one approach. Okay, that's it. Whatever it's worth.